So with our lovely little Miss W, hi cuteness, we were going to practice a little bit with some beginning stages of some loose leash walking and maybe a couple little recalls as well. So when we're practicing, if let's say, ready, you're working a little bit in the home, I would recommend to sometimes practice, ready, Winnie, find it. Drop that bad boy. There we go. Good job. Is if let's say in the beginning equipment is kind of hard for her. I know that you guys had mentioned that her wearing her collar seems a little bit overwhelming. Putting her harness on, she gets a little bit flustered by it. So if she tends to normally be off of equipment and then maybe the gear starts to only equal going into the vehicle or going for that walk or whatever it might be, you may actually start to get a puppy that starts to preemptively get more anxious every time you go to grab for that gear. So we want to be careful that, just like I mentioned, how you could have a cue. So again, a skill like a sit or some other behavior start to become negative, just like your food could start to become a negative as well. So I think that's enough for now, my lovey, okay? Okay, give me one moment. So with our little Miss W, my little one wants more tennis balls to play with. So you'll see that as we're practicing with some of this loose leash walking, I'm going ahead and just feeding for any time she's kind of orienting back to my side, like we did a little bit with some of the other babes on some of the other days too. So right now, the rate of reinforcement's pretty high as well. She's chasing a little fuzzy on the floor. She's way too cute. So, but if your rate of reinforcement doesn't seem high enough for the puppy, where they don't find it fun or valuable to try these weird new things, you may not get as much behavior from her, yes, as you were hoping. Two, the value of the food from the puppy's perspective is going to be really important. So I know you guys had mentioned that sometimes sitting for her or going into different behaviors is a little tricky. So I would recommend that the food has value from her perspective. So there are moments where we think, oh, we got the doggy some dog treats, but remember, they are the ones that decide what they find is reinforcing to them. So just like with us as people, we have certain things that we enjoy and other things that we don't really love so much. So remember, if someone else was deciding what you liked, you may decide, hey, that's not what I enjoy, and no thanks. So definitely make sure, ready, find it, that whatever you're practicing, Miss W also finds it to be reinforcing from her perspective. So we're going to do a little find it again. And now from here, I might go, Winnie, come. Yes, and give her a little tidbit. Beautiful. So if my little lovely is starting to get more comfortable, we can start doing some of these lovely find its, build in some distance, and then from there, Winnie, come. Yes, good girl. That was beautiful. Ready? We'll do another little one. Find it. Nice. Winnie, come. So I would only do as many little recalls as she can handle, but rotate. So let's say she can do an amazing 15 wonderful little recalls to you. I would maybe sometimes do 3. I would sometimes do, 5. Come. Yes. But I wouldn't make it where you do like 15 every time, and then you start to wonder, why is my puppy having such a hard time working the skill? She's like, that hairball looked delicious. Winnie, come. Yes, good girl. So there are a couple good recall rules too. Oh, she didn't see that one roll. Is you never want to make recalls the end of fun. So if you tend to call your puppy to you, Winnie, come. Yes. And then, oh, okay, 1 second. Okay, I'll come right over. Okay, I'll be right there. Abba says she got something stuck on her hand. So when it comes to your lovely working with recalls, you want to make sure that they don't become the end of fun. So if every time you call her, you bring her inside, then that starts to equal coming when called is we leave the outdoor fun world. So I would definitely start to make it where recalls equal check in, but then go back to that environment and have a good time. Yes. Okay, I'll be right there. So if let's say, oh, she didn't see that one. So, and the other one is don't pair it with something scary. So I know I mentioned earlier, if your puppy's scared of tubby time and you pair the recall with taking a bath, like heading towards the bathroom, your babe may not realize when is it going to be safe or unsafe to respond to a recall. The third recall rule is even if your puppy did the silliest thing ever, like she ran away and she crossed the road, but then eventually came to you, Winnie, come. We do not want to get mad at her, even though she came a little bit after when you wanted. Otherwise, your puppy's going to start to think that recalls can sometimes be dangerous to come to you, and therefore recall reliability will go out the window. Yes, if your puppy starts to think that going and recalling to you could be at times threatening, overwhelming, or paired with bad. So make sure to keep those recalls positive. And then we'll give her a little breather from some of these little recall moments, and then we'll go back into work in a few more skills.